Okay, guys, we are live. Let's begin. So, hey everyone, I'm Harshal Jain, your mentor at Geeks4Geeks, and in this video, we are going to build AI-powered stock prediction tool using ReactJS. So, this is basically a front-end project, and we are going to use an API for detecting the things, for predicting the stock, whether to buy or not, whether it's undervalued or overvalued. Okay, so I have chosen some parameters. I'm not that expert in stock market, but yeah, I have lost some money there. So I know what are some good things and bad things. Obviously, it's great to be a part of stock market, and I'm just saying ki okay, we are going to simply use the AI part. We are going to use the API for it. Okay, so I'm clearly mentioning it because some people might think why you are using React.js in front end, where is the AI part? So for the AI, we are going to use the APIs. Okay, we are not going to create our own AI, but yeah, we are going to use APIs and we are going to simply use that AI. Okay, so let's begin, guys. Let's continue. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to first of all create a simple React.js application, and I'm going to explain you what are the basic parameters through which we can judge a stock. Okay, so you might have heard about P ratio and PB ratio and dividend yield, different kind of ratios, different kind of percentage, ROE, ROI, different kind of parameters which actually tell that this is a good stock or this is a bad stock simply. Okay, so it's actually the tool which we are using right now. It's not dependent on the economic terms. Like it's like suppose right now we have corona. Okay, suppose today we have corona pandemic. So it won't be predicting according to that. We are just going to predict according to the growth of the company, according to the report of the company. Okay, that would be the best parameter to predict things. But yeah, you can add more features like if right now there is a pandemic, so I shouldn't invest it here, or if the stock market is too low, okay, has fallen badly, then I can invest. Okay, different kind of things. So if you are an expert, then you can easily add more things to this project, but I'm not that expert, so I'm going to add basic things which I know. Okay, so let's create a simple VS Code project. So here I'm just gonna create a simple project. Okay, so let's just open terminal here, and here I'm just gonna say npx. So first of all, the basic requirement is Node.js, so your Node.js must be installed. Then we're going to use React.js, so npx create React app, and here I can just name my project as stock app. Okay, something like that. So stock app, and guys, I'm also going to upload this code on GitHub. Okay, I think I just missed out something. Yeah, npx create React app. Okay, perfect. So let's start this project. So guys, if you have any doubts, you can definitely mention in the live chat, and I'll be reading your live chat comments there. Okay, so it's gonna take a few minutes or seconds. Let's wait for a few seconds, and then we can start writing our code. Okay, so for that, for the API part, guys, I'm going to mention which API we are going to use. So we are going to use the Gemini API. Okay, so gemini.google.com, this is the Gemini API. Here you can ask for different things. Okay, you can just simply ask, how can I decide if a stock is good or not? Simple prompt. Okay, so here you can see that you would get some kind of response, and yeah, you can see that different kind of parameters matter. So it's basically in your front end, you're gonna ask these parameters, and the AI would be helping us to calculate these things. Okay, so yeah, other factors are also mentioned. So if you want to make it more advanced, it's like you can add technical analysis, you can add charts, but right now it doesn't support charts. But yeah, if someday it supports charts, then definitely you can add it. And you can also add economic factors. Right now the company is in huge debt. Okay, or you can just say the country is in huge debt, so other companies might suffer, and different kind of things. Okay, so you can just check out this, and you can also add more things like suppose the company is related to technology, so it might compare it with other companies also, technology companies also. If this company is performing better, then definitely it's a good stock, and like that. Okay, so I'm just going to take some basic things like PE ratio, PB ratio, debt to equity, and accordingly we are going to ask our AI that is it good or not. Okay, is it good or not? I don't know what's the purpose of P ratio, I don't know what's the purpose of PB ratio. I would just say that this is the P ratio, this is the PB ratio. What, just tell me, is this company good or not? Okay, I'll just submit the report of the company, and then the AI would tell, yeah, this is a good company, I have read your basic reports. Okay, so how we can use this, so I'm going to explain this later. Actually, right now we're just going to get API from it. Okay, so you can just simply search for Gemini API. Just search for this. Okay, just search for this. Okay, so here guys, you can see we have API. Okay, so API for AI. Okay, so AI is here, and we can actually use these APIs for free. I can use ChatGPT API also, but that's paid one. Okay, right now they don't give us the free version, or if it's free for some time, then in future it would stop automatically. So instead of that, we can use Google's Gemini API, which is free. For now, it's free. Okay, so you can use it. So get API in Google AI Studio. If you are watching it in some other country apart from India, I'm not sure this would work, because in some countries it doesn't work, in some countries it works. Okay, so you would get some kind of page like this. Okay, just log in with your Google account and you would get some kind of page like this. Okay, so in get API key, you can create an API. Okay, I already have an API, that is this one. Okay, so I can simply copy this one. Okay, but yeah, you might have some other you might be using it for other for first time. Okay, you might be using it for the first time, so you simply need to create API key, and then your API key would be generated. Okay, so I've already copied the API key and I can use it anywhere I want. Okay, so simply you can see that our project also has been created. The project name is talk app, so you can see that this has been created, simple React.js application. So I'm just going to open this, and yes, and I'll just zoom it a bit. Okay, let's continue. So here guys, we are going to simply say that this is the SRC, right? So here we have app.js. Just clear this out, or let me just first of all open this. Okay, so I'm just going to open this in new terminal, and this project has been opened. Now I'm just going to start this project. So npm start. This is a React.js application. So just start this one. Okay, so it's gonna start. You can see that it's here. Yes, so you can see that we have simply started a React.js application. And guys, here what we're going to do is we are simply going to clear this part. Okay, clear this part. That's it. Okay, now here guys, I can just add a few parameters. I am going to create a simple component, a kind of form where we are going to take details. Okay, so I'm just going to name this form something like financial form, financial form. Okay, financial form dot js. Okay, and here I'm just gonna write RAFC. So how did I get this shortcut? So this shortcut is basically a template which I got from this extension named as ES7 plus. Okay, you can just search for this ES7 plus, just install this one, and definitely guys, after that you would be able to get this shortcut RAFCE. That's it, done. Okay, so once you get this shortcut, what you need to do is you just need to call this simple component into our app.js. Okay, so I'm just going to say that this is financial form. I'm going to call this form in our app.js. Okay, so here guys, you would simply see that we got this simple heading because we have this text inside this financial form. Okay, so we have this. Now what else we need? We need to simply give it a heading also. Let's give it a heading. So I can just say that the name is suppose stock metrics. I can just say that inside the header, I can just say stock metrics analysis. Okay, so something like that. Okay, or you can just make it better, stock analysis, that's it. Okay, so this is some kind of heading which I have given, and I am just going to say that here in financial form we are going to give some styles. Okay, but some common styles would be given in app.css, so I'm just going to remove this, and also in index.js just remove everything. Okay, so in app.css guys, I'm just going to say that we have everything. Text align would be in center. If you don't want this, you can remove this. The header color would be this. And guys, we also going to have a clear button in future. Okay, so this would be a button tag, so I'm just going to use it here. Okay, just define the styles here, that's it. So this would be for app.js, so you would see something like this, stock analysis, and now this is financial form which we get inside this one. Okay, so now guys, in financial form we are going to create a simple react.js form. Okay, but for that we are going to define some hooks. So we are going to say that you need some basic knowledge of stock market. If you don't know it, you can just search these terms which I'm using for this, and you can just add more study to this. Maybe I am wrong, okay, maybe I've used wrong terms, but yeah, you can just add your own study. The logic is exactly same. You can just add more parameters, make it more correct, make it more accurate. That's up to you, right? So here guys, we are just gonna say that suppose these are the values which we are gonna ask from the guy, okay, from the user. So I can just say market price, although there are some values which AI might get automatically from the internet, but still I'm just asking things from the user itself. Okay, so stock market price, and we can just say earnings per share. Okay, and book value, and what else do we take? We take the sales. Okay, and we take the annual dividends. Okay, and the dividends which are provided by the company, and the previous EPS, and current EPS. Okay, and total debt. Okay, the debt of the company, and total equity, and net income. Okay, perfect. So now guys, what we're gonna do, we are going to take these things from the user. Okay, from the user. So these are the things which I'm going to take from the user. Now if you want to understand these things easily, what you can actually do is just a minute, I have to use state. Okay, import the use state. So what you can actually do is you can simply ask these things from the AI itself. Okay, so I'm just gonna ask these things from the AI itself, very easy. So you can just say explain. You can just ask these terms directly. Okay, so AI would be able to explain you better, right? So you can see, oh shit. So Gemini is not able to explain me this. I don't know why. Gemini does this sometimes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, let's try again. So you can see that, yeah, it gave me response this time. So this represents the current market price of the stock. Okay, EPS, earnings per share, which is the company's net income divided by a number of outstanding shares. Okay, so how company earned from the outstanding shares, and then this is the book value. So the net asset value of the company calculated by subtracting total liabilities and from total assets. Okay, and dividing the number by outstanding shares. So these are some parameters which stock market people would understand better. So if you are not that much experienced, go play some time in stock market, then you would understand everything. Okay. So yeah, these are general things which every company also has. Okay. So more parameters are there definitely, but I have taken some general parameters which might give you an idea that the company is good or not. Okay, so yeah, you can just search more about it. What's the meaning of previous EPS, current EPS, how it affects the company? How can I say that current EPS would affect the company's growth and things like that? So you can just search more about this, then you would understand that, yeah, okay, that's why we have used this. Okay, so now guys, we are back. So we have to take these things in the form, okay, in the form. So I'm gonna create a form here. So I'm just gonna say that one more thing, whatever I write inside the form, I want to set that inside this hook. Okay, so I'm just going to create a function named as handle change. Inside that, whatever value, that means the value might be this EPS. Okay, the name might be EPS, the value would be 10. Okay, so in EPS 10 would be passed. Okay, similarly the name is suppose net income, so in net income 20 would be passed, like that. So you're going to update the values. Okay, you're going to get the values and update the values, that's it. Okay, from this division, from this form. Okay, so we are going to create a form here. So we can simply say that this is a form tag. Okay, simple form tag, that's it, and just close it. Okay, and inside this guys, I am also going to have one function named as handle submit. So handle submit, and here guys we're just gonna say that whenever you submit, just don't refresh the form data. So e.prevent default. Okay, that's it. Okay, right. So guys, what we are going to do is we are going to simply create a division. Okay, and inside this division, first of all, we are going to ask about the first parameter. So let's close it. We're going to ask about the first parameter. I'll just give it a label. Okay, market price per share. Okay, my market price per share, and you are just going to say we are going to create an input for asking this. Okay, so input, let's say type equals number. Okay, and it depends on you, either you want to take things in rupees or dollars, things like that. Okay, so market price. Okay, market price, and the value would be coming from values dot market price. Okay, and whenever you change it on change, is going to say we're just going to call handle change. So automatically this specific name market price is passed, and the value, whatever value write inside this input field would be passed. Okay, so it would be automatically updated to this hook, that's it. Okay, so just like this guys, we are going to create multiple input fields. Okay, we are going to have multiple input fields. So I'm just going to ask all of them. Let's just ask all of them from the user. So simply guys, I have asked for what? Earnings per share. You can see that I have asked for earnings per share, book value per share, sales per share, annual dividends per share. Okay, and previous year's EPS. Okay, current year's EPS, total depth, and total equity, net income. Okay, so we have asked these parameters. And then guys, one more thing, we are going to have a button. Okay, we are going to have a simple button named as submit. Okay, so whenever I click on this is a type submit, so automatically what would be called? Handle submit would be called, and we would be inside this function. Okay, so I'm just going to simply print things, console.log valued. Okay, so values. Okay, so we are going to test it now. Let's check it. Okay, so this is a kind of form which we have generated. So I'm just going to inspect and console, and yes. So suppose if I write some kind of numbers. Okay, so if I click on submit, okay, so I have actually made all of these as required, so that's why. So you can see that, guys, now I got these values. Okay, perfect. So you can see that now I'm having these values. So I simply need to send this to the AI. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna style this page. Okay, so I'll just style this page. So for that, guys, I'm just going to create a CSS file for it, and there I would just write the styles for it. Okay, so I'm just going to say that the CSS file name is suppose financial form.css. So I'm going to write some styles there. Okay, so here, guys, I'm just gonna say that suppose my form container, okay, would be having some maximum width of 600. Okay, so you would see that my form container, just a minute, guys, I think I haven't given this a class name. Form container, it's fine. Financial form.css. Okay, let me just give it a background color of red, maybe. Yes, yeah, it's working, it's working fine. So yeah, it's kind of light, but yeah, it's working. It's actually having some kind of box shadow, some light box shadow, that's why it's not that visible. Maybe now it would be more visible. Yes, now it's more visible. Okay, perfect. So now, guys, we are going to say that the division would be having some margin from bottom. Okay, and the label and input would be having some simple styles. So let's see. So yeah, these label and inputs are having some simple styles, and then, guys, we're gonna have some button. So button would be having width and background color and text color and some border radius like this. Okay, and then I would be also having a loader in future, loading animation. So for that, I've given a center. That means I want it in center. Okay, so you can see that, guys, I have created a simple form. I can actually make it more authentic by simply giving it, first of all, width weight as 300. Actually give it 400. And what else can you say is text align as left. Okay, so you can see that now it's in left. Okay, so you can see that this is the form which I have created. Okay, so I'll ask the details from the user in this form. Okay, but, guys, for now, since I don't want to waste my time, so again and again I don't want to pass data inside this one, so I would just pass some sample data. Okay, some sample data directly here, so I don't need to pass it again and again. So yeah, you can see automatically some sample data would be here. Okay, so now, guys, what we're going to do is we are going to simply provide these values to the Gemini API. Okay, to the Gemini API. So how can I do that? So you got the API key, right? So you got the API key. What you need to do is you need to paste the API key somewhere. Where? Here you need to create the .env file. And, guys, here we need to simply paste our API key. Okay, and I have named it React App Gemini key, right? I have simply named it React App Gemini key, and I'm going to use it here. Okay, I'm going to use it here. So in financial form, just import this env. Okay, just import this. I've just simply named as API key process.env, and I've simply imported it. Okay, so now I have the API key. That's it. Okay, now since I have the API key, I simply need to call the API. Okay, so how can I call this? So I need to get the URL of the API. How can I get the URL of the API? So I'll provide you the source code. From there also you can get the URL, or else what you need to do is you need to come here, and here you need to simply copy this URL. Okay, so just copy this URL, and, guys, what you need to do is you need to simply say let URL equals this. Okay, so this is the URL, and I'm just going to simply pass double ticks here. Okay, so double tick has been passed, and here, guys, just simply pass the $sign and just write API key. That's it. That's it. So you can see that I have passed the API key. This is the URL where we are going to send things and get response from. Okay, so here we are going to pass the data. So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to create a training prompt. Okay, we are going to create a training prompt. That means some basic instructions. I want to give some basic instructions to my AI. Okay, so here let's create a training prompt. Okay, here, guys, what I'm gonna say is, as a user, okay, so kind of you would get it in the documentation. You would just go here. Either you can do things directly. Okay, you can just send things directly, but I won't do this. I would just give you a better thing here. So here, guys, we have Gemini text generation. Actually go to get started and go to web, or just go to rest. Okay, just go to rest, and here guys you can see that yeah, some basic things have been given. Okay, you can see that this is the kind of prompt which you can send. Okay, so here you can see that inside this we have provided this role as model, so this would be sent. So I'm just gonna copy this, and here guys here simply going to paste it. Okay, so the role is model, right? So I'm just gonna say this is the model's response. So instead of this, I'm simply first of all going to give a basic prompt. Okay, so as a user, so this is some training type. Okay, so initially some hidden prompts would be given so that the model would be trained. So as a user, I want to give some instructions here. Okay, so I'm just going to say that from next prompt, I am gonna send you some parameters for predicting the stock market share. I'm simply going to just write this. Okay, stock market share. That's it. And what else I need to provide? So I can just say, tell me if it's overvalued or undervalued, and I should buy it or not. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that tell me if it is overvalued or undervalued, and I should buy it or not. So I've simply given these instructions to my AI. Okay, first of all, this is the instruction which I have given to my AI, and then my AI would simply say okay. My AI would simply say, okay, I understood. Okay, so my AI would simply say, okay. Then again, I would also give some extra instructions. I'm just gonna say that again, calculate some extra things. Also calculate P ratio, PB ratio, P by S ratio, and dividend yield, earnings per growth in percentage, earnings growth in percentage. Okay, debt to equity ratio, ROE percentage, and give as a response. Okay, simple. Okay, so again the AI would just say okay. Okay, so the AI would just say okay, I'll give you the response, right? So don't worry guys, you'll get this training prompt in my source code. You can get it from there. Okay, very easy. Or you can create your own training prompt, nothing to worry about. Okay, so yeah, model said okay, and then finally I want the response in HTML div tag so that I can show it in a proper design. So I'm just gonna say always give response in the form of HTML div and table tag. So I would get the proper response in the form of div and table tag. Okay, so the model would just say okay, right? Okay, done, I got it, right? So this is a training prompt. Okay, so this is the training prompt which user won't give, which we have given as a training prompt, so that model understands what actually the user wants. Okay, now guys, simply when we simply call this, so I'm just gonna create message to send. This is a kind of array which we are going to send. So I'm just gonna first of all say the training prompt would be sent. Okay, then after that I'm just gonna say the user is now finally providing the value. Okay, whatever value we have written 1 2 3 4 inside this. Okay, whatever values we have written, so I'm just providing this values, okay, in string format. So I've just stringified this and I'm just sending this. So user is sending this. So obviously after user, what's the response? Model is giving the response, right? So automatically model would give us the response. Okay, so we are now going to call the API. Okay, we are going to call the API. Okay, so we are going to create a loading animation for it. So I'm just gonna create loading animation by simply saying is sent as true. Initially it would be true. That means things are sent automatically. I am assuming things are sent. Okay, when we are calling this handle submit function, we are just going to say things are not sent. Things are not sent. So I'm just going to say set is sent as false. Okay, and then I'm simply going to call the API. When this is sent as false, then I'm going to show the loading animation. If is sent as true, I'm not going to show the loading animation. I'm just going to show the normal button, send button. Okay, so here guys, I'm just gonna say that just create this as async, and here guys, we have just fetched the URL. What parameters we need to provide? First of all, the method is post and content type is application JSON. You can just get it from the Gemini doc we just now viewed. Okay, then after that guys, in the body we are going to provide the message to send. So it's inside the contents, right? You can just check out the body. You can see it's inside the contents part here. Yeah, this one, it's inside the contents part. Okay, so you just need to provide this content type application JSON, and inside the contents part you just need to provide this. That's it guys, what you need. And then after this guys, you are just going to get a response. Just get the response, set is sent as true, and then guys, from the response we need to extract this field. Okay, you can just check the response, you can just print it, and there you would find this part. Just store it somewhere. Okay, this would contain your actual response. Okay, so this would be a JSON response and you would get the JSON response. Just store the actual message from there. Okay, so I'm just going to print it. Let's check this. Okay, let's check this. So let's go to our project. Yes, so here guys, what we're gonna do is, this is our project. I'm just gonna inspect, and then guys I'm just gonna go to console, and if I click on submit, so here guys we have some problem. What's the problem? Cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, so I think so there might be one problem of this API, so I'm just going to close it and restart this. Okay, let's check it again. Fine, let's click submit. You can see cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, there is some problem with calling the API. So what I can do is, I can just simply, instead of this, I'm going to print the res JSON. Okay, so I'm just going to print the full response. Okay, let's do it. So if I just refresh, submit, and you can see guys that this is an error, API key not valid, please enter a valid API key. I think so that this Gemini is not able to get my API key. So this is the API key, but Gemini is not able to get the API key. So I'm just going to print the API key first. So console.log API key. That's it. Let's try to print this. Okay, so you can see that it's getting undefined. That means it's not able to get the API key. Let's go to env, and I think so it must be able to get this, but I'm not sure why it's not getting the API key. Let's try again. So I'll just go to terminal, new terminal. Okay, and then guys again I'm going to just start this, and let's inspect console. Still getting undefined. Okay, cannot establish connection. I'm not sure why it's not able to get the API key. I have created the env file, but okay, I did one mistake. The env file must not be inside this, it must be here. Okay, so now if I just save this, and now if I just reload this, okay, I need to close it once. Yes, and restart it now. Okay, now it would work. Actually, I've created the env file inside the src. I don't need to create that, just create it outside, okay, in the main project. So now guys, you just go to console and you can see that now we have the API key. So always check that you get the API key or not. So I'm getting the API key, so I don't need to check it again. Okay, so now guys we have this, and I'm just going to click submit. And once you click submit, you can actually wait for a few seconds, and you can see that yeah, inside this we have candidates, inside this zero, inside this we have content, inside this we have parts, inside this guys we have the text. Okay, so this is a simple div tag. You can see that this is simple div tag. So I'm just going to print that part only. So I'll just res response message. Okay, I'll just do it. Okay, so now again guys, I'm just going to call this API, and this time you would just get the message, exact message, right? So you can see that this is a JSON format message which I got, right? So guys, we are going to simply show it in our page. Okay, we are going to simply show it in our page. How can I do this? So first of all guys, I need to show this loading animation. So I'm just gonna say whenever is sent is true. Okay, whenever is sent is true, so we're going to show the submit button, else we're going to show the loading animation. So is sent is true, we're going to show the submit button, else we are going to show the loading animation. Okay, so some loading animation, how we can actually go there? So I'm just going to simply search for React spinners. Okay, just search for React spinners, npm React spinners, just copy this part and install it here. That's it. And now you just need to go to the documentation, and here guys you can pick any spinner you want. Okay, any spinner you want. Suppose I want to pick this spinner, I'll just copy this. Okay, inside this guys, you just need to get this spinner. So this is it, show code. Just copy this part and paste it here, right? And what else you need to do is you can just give it a class which is class name as loader. So we have already given the CSS for it. So class name as loader. Okay, that's it. So now let's test again. So here guys, if I click on submit, you can see I got the loading animation. Perfect. So it gives me the loading animation, and you can just add more styles to it, but yeah, it looks fine. Okay, so now we have this. We simply need to show some kind of data somewhere. Okay, so where we can show the data. So in app.js, let's create a hook. So I'm just going to create a hook, or else what you can use is you can use the context API to just add global variables, or you can create a hook here and you can pass it to its child components. Okay, so I'm just going to say that just pass it to my child components. So I'm just going to pass set result to this. Okay, set result to this, and this set result would be called here. Okay, would be simply called here. Okay, and whenever I get the result, I'm just gonna call it set result as send message, response message. Perfect. So now the response message is actually available inside this result. That's it. Okay, so just import the use state and it would be done, right? So now you have this result. Okay, now where we can show this result, we can show the result anywhere we want. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a separate file, okay, for showing the results. So result dot js, okay, result dot js. Inside this guys, we're gonna show our result. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that again, rafc would be called. Okay, and here guys, I'm just gonna simply say we are gonna get the result from the hook. So from here, once result value is updated, I'm just gonna call the result component, and inside this we are just gonna pass the result plus result. And also guys, we are gonna pass, that's it. Okay, that's it. So we're gonna pass result inside this. Okay, so I'm just gonna simply show the result inside this division, okay, in HTML format. So for that I have given the property dangerously set inner HTML code is the result text which you get. Okay, and the class name would be result div. So here we need to give the CSS. So I'm just gonna give a CSS file, result.css. Okay, inside this we're gonna write the CSS. So I'm just gonna say that we are going to have the result division, right? And then we are gonna have the h2 tag, p tag, some basic styles, the table, the th tag, the td tag, some basic styles I have given here. Whatever type of data might come, I have assumed. So this is the styling for each type of data. Okay, so each type of data would be getting this type of style, right? So we have the result, and let's check it now. So here guys, I'm just gonna refresh, and suppose now if I click on submit, once you click on submit, it's gonna take a few seconds, and you can see guys that now I got the result. Okay, but yeah, it's not styled because we haven't given the CSS. So import dot slash result dot css. Okay, so save this and let's come back. So you can see that yeah, this is it. So you can see that I have analyzed the stock and I got the result. Okay, I got the result. I think let's change the name because sometimes this name matches. Yeah, so you can see that this is the response from the API, automatic response. Okay, so you can see automatic calculation is done by the API, right? Automatically all the calculations are done by the AI. I didn't do this. Okay, from the API, this AI did the calculation. Okay, I didn't do this. Okay, and after that you can see some extra things are here. Valuation based on the provided information, stock appears to be fairly valued. The PE ratio, PV ratio, and PS ratio are all within the reasonable range. The dividend yield is so attractive, however, is also attractive. However, the stock is not undervalued or overvalued. The recommendation, considering the above metrics, it is difficult to say certainly buy or not. You should provide more details. Okay, so this is the AI suggestion. You can make investment decisions considering more research and analysis. Okay, so this is the response from the AI. Now guys, what you're gonna do is, since you got the response, once you get the response, you're gonna hide this form. Okay, you're gonna hide this form. So what you can actually do is, in the app.js, you're just gonna say that if result.length is 0, then only show the form. When we don't have the result, show this form. Okay, and one more thing, that is if result length is greater than 0. First of all, I'm just gonna cut this part, okay, and I'm gonna paste it here, and I'm just gonna say that if result length is greater than 0, then only show the result, that means the division, okay, else don't show anything, okay. And also guys, we're gonna create a button named as clear button. Once I click on this button, I'm just gonna clear the result, okay. So as soon as I click on this button, I'm just gonna set it as blank, clear result, and as soon as it is blank, this would be hidden, this would be visible, okay. So now let's test this. So you can see that, yeah, this is it. If I click on clear result, you can see now you get the form. If I click on submit, it's gonna take some time, and you can see that after a few seconds, let's wait, you can see that you are able to see the result, okay. So this result is coming from the Gemini API. It did all the calculation and it's giving me related to the calculation, okay. It's giving me response related to the calculation. You can just modify the training prompt more to get more accurate kind of details what you want. You want analysis, you want the validation, valuation, whatever you want, you can just get it from here, and you can just add additional search for the company's name and different kind of things, okay. That's it guys, I hope you understood this part. We simply created this small project, and with simple UI and simple API calls, we actually used AI inside this project, okay. So this is totally based on Gemini and React.js, and this was the project which I wanted to create today. Now guys, I'm going to upload the source code to my GitHub repository, so you can just get the source code from there, okay. So what I'll do is I'll just create a GitHub repository. Okay, so stock prediction Gemini GFG. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on create repository, and I'll just copy this one, and I'll just paste it here and git add dot, and I'm just gonna hide my API key from here, and I'll just, okay, anyways, I'll just delete it from my Gemini itself so that no one can use it. So I'll just simply upload this code. Okay, perfect. So now guys, I have uploaded the source code which is available here. You can just get the source code from here, and you have the env file also. So later on I'll delete the API from here so no one can access that. But still, if you want some reference, so this is the reference. This is the source code, and you'd get my GitHub profile somewhere. You can actually check my GitHub profile or LinkedIn profile available in the description. It's available. From there, what you can do is you can just go to my profile. If you want to follow me, you can follow me here. You can check out my LinkedIn also and my Instagram. In the repositories, you would simply find the stock prediction Gemini GFG. You can just search the name here, or you would find the repository here. You can mark it as a star so that it's available for you for future. Okay, so you can just check out this code. You can just download this. You can just get the source code from here completely. Okay, so guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.